Hi there, I'm Kim Coons. I'm the training coordinator with Finance Administration here at Front Range Community College. Today I'm going to talk to you about purchasing goods and services. Our objectives today are to discuss the purchasing step, identify the types of preconditions, and I'm going to explain to you what we mean by that. We are also going to introduce you to our user's guide, and it's part of your Greenline training material. We ask that at the end of the course, you test your knowledge by completing a few short exercises. And finally, as part of your closeout, we ask that you complete a survey. We want to make sure we've hit the mark. So what are the purchasing steps? There's 5 distinct steps in purchasing. First is addressing any preconditions that exist for your purchase. Next, selecting your vendor. Then, purchasing your good or service, receiving it, and then finally paying for it. You always got to pay the bill. Before I talk to you about preconditions, if you look at the lower right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see an asterisk with a reference to the purchasing guide page. And I've done this so that you can open up your purchasing guide and follow along and very quickly go through to the specific section. And that guide also includes a copy and a link to the state fiscal rules, the FRCC organization guidelines, how to complete forms, a list of all your contacts, and workflow maps. It's pretty extensive, about 40 pages. So let's talk about these preconditions. Well, what is a precondition? Number 1, make sure you have the money to make a purchase. Then, these preconditions will also apply to 5 categories of purchases. So those 5 categories are hardware and software, guest lecturer, FRCC memberships, purchasing logo apparel, and official function. Hardware and software. Well, when you make these kind of purchases, bear in mind that our IT department manages, or rather the director manages IT resources campus-wide. And with that, they've instituted a central purchase contract. It's called the HP Smart Store. And this central purchase contract allows you to buy things like monitors or printers, and you can order directly from that site. But if you don't see it from there, you need to go back to your campus IT coordinator and get their approval. And in your user's guide on page 6, you'll find who that is and what you need to do. FRCC memberships. These are affiliations or memberships for professional staff at the institutional level. A great example is the Association for CTE, or Career and Technical Education. And for your information, there is a list of already approved FRCC memberships under FRCC, Fiscal Services, Purchasing. We don't want you to duplicate a membership request. Guest lecturer, they have to be approved by a supervisor and the org owner. And our purchasing coordinator is going to perform an independent contractor analysis. And what that basically means is if they're an FRCC employee, we want to make sure that they're paid through FRCC payroll. If they're not, we want to make sure that we have all the forms to pay them appropriately. And hey, you know who the purchasing coordinator is here at FRCC? His name is Bryant Heberlin. He's over in Westminster. He's in C2001. His direct phone number is 303-404-5510, but his contact information is also available in the user's guide. And he's always a great guy to call. He'll walk you through it. Preconditions, logo apparel. This is uniform apparel that promotes professionalism to our students. You'll see it on, for instance, the gentlemen that teach in the automotive career technical field. The faculty members all wear the shirts. And that just bears the FRCC logo. Preconditions on official functions. They're held to achieve a certain program objective. They're limited to reasonable and actual cost. A great example would be the in-service that we just did this last year in in Loveland. Food and beverage for state employees, if they're in attendance. If they're consuming, we ask that that may be a minimum of 4 hours. And that's state fiscal rules. Budget availability, like I mentioned before. If you don't have the money at your org code level, please consult your department head, your director, your dean, and see that they can, in fact, transfer funds to you, because you've got to have the funds in place before you start with your purchase. So, step 2, select your vendor. We do ask that you maximize the use of pre-approved vendors. If you don't know who those are, and we do have some on the FRCC intranet, you'll see them for things like copying services or reaching office supplies. Give Brian a call. He'll help you. Also, we ask that you obtain written quotes in advance of buying something, and this is to make sure that there are no surprises when it comes to cost. But if a vendor sends you an agreement that says, please acknowledge these terms and conditions, we ask that you never accept that. Why? Because then you've bound the college to that vendor, that price, and in essence, you've initiated a contract. Mandatory contracts will always be required for services over $100,000, purchase of professional services, and purchase of lease or real property. Now, here at Front Range, we do have a contract administrator. Her name is Sally Diamond. She's also at Westminster. Her direct line is 303-404-5310. You can also find her information on the FRCC intranet under Fiscal Services and Contracts. But more importantly, we're going to be doing a whole separate training module on contracts, so you'll hear more about it. If your contracted service involves a clinical agreement, like student nursing in a hospital or phlebotomy services at a lab, you need to coordinate with Rocky Manson, and he's the contracting coordinator at 303-404-5076. He works in there with Sally. And you need to submit a clinical information sheet. Again, your user's guide on page 9 talks about this, and in addition to that, you'll find it on the FRCC intranet. Step 3, you're ready to purchase, you're ready to buy. Any purchase of goods or services over $5,000 do in fact require that a purchase requisition be requested from Bryant, who in turn will cut what we call a purchase order. And a purchase order is simply a document that goes to the vendor that says, this is completely what we're buying, these are the terms and conditions of Front Range, quantity, nomenclature, things of that nature. On your purchases, make sure that you are not buying gift cards. They are not allowed by FRCC policy. If you're purchasing something from a foreign vendor, please give us 30 days in advance. Also make sure that you've obtained the appropriate signature on this from the signature authorization matrix, which if you don't know what that is just a list of people at Front Range that have the ability to buy something and obligate FRCC money up to certain line item. And most importantly, follow the rules, because if you don't and you make an illegal purchase, you may be held personally liable, meaning you're going to be paying for it. So, step 4, receive the good or services. We ask that all purchases made on a purchase requisition, hence that PO or contract, have a receiving report attached to it. This is what allows our accounts payable people in fiscal, those are the folks that pay the bill, to actually pay for the service. And finally, what are the payment methods? Well, we've got all kinds. We've got a purchase card, which you'll hear people talk about, a P card, an expense voucher, a purchase order, a contract encumbrance, and an interdepartmental invoice. I'm going to talk about all these separately, but real quickly, what is that contract encumbrance? An encumbrance means that you are holding funds for a specific purchase that generally spans over one fiscal year. We'll go over that. We're going to talk about more of that in contracting. So, what's a P card? A P card is a credit card. It's issued to FRCC employees across all campuses to allow them to make purchases under $3,000. P card holders must go through a separate certification process because there's a lot of restrictions on what you can buy or can't buy. So make sure you talk to your P card holder. Expense vouchers. These are used to pay for a specific invoice. There's no vendor agreement or contract. And a great example of this would be, let's say that you buy professional journals throughout the year. You contact the vendor, he ships them out. He's going to send you an invoice. It's a routine purchase. You're going to send it to accounts payable and say, hey, will you please pay my bill? Purchase requisition and purchase orders. I said before, a PR is requested at the departmental level. A purchase order is what Bryant cuts. They are required for all purchases greater than $5,000. And again, the payment will not be processed by accounts payable, our folks in fiscal that pay the bill, until the receiving report is filed. Expense transfers and interdepartment invoices. These occur when you buy something from auxiliary services, meaning the campus store or the cafe, like they're hosting food and drink for your official function. So what happens is, because they run like an independent business and they're revenue generating, meaning they got to make money to survive, they're going to send you an invoice. and that invoice is going to be paid via an expense transfer. We don't cut checks to each other. We just transfer the money around. So this concludes the presentation. If you have any questions, my name is Kimberly Coons. I'm at the Westminster campus. I'm at 303-404-5309. Please make sure you do your intercourse exercises and also do that survey. Talk to you soon to the next session. See you later now. Bye.